that, Nathan.
I'll start at the other end. You want some of these? No, she walked away from it.
These
These
beautiful.
don't have, the seniors will get with all the inserts. These don't have.
Okay.
These sold almost 400 last year at that 15. So they ordered 100 more, we didn't sell them. And if Brenda would turn it off, I'll go.
Going for that wall again.
I think we did a pretty good job on it.
Recognize that you have to make a grade point average of 3.5 or better on the previous grading period, which has been our first 9 weeks grading period. I think counting everybody this fall, we probably had as many or more than we've ever had on the all-academic team, and I think that speaks highly for our athletes that they not only realize how important athletics are to them, but they also realize how important the academics are to them as well. So we'd like to recognize those people with this special certificate, and as I call your name, if you'll come up and receive the certificate, please. We'll recognize the cheerleaders first. Megan Nichols. Come on, Crip. Megan Longenacre. Autumn Haig. Stacy Levitt. Sanath Lang. Joanna Hamrick. That's 6 out of 13, I think, and that speaks highly. Almost 50%. Congratulations, ladies. Okay, football. Nathan Evans. Isaac Smith. Brad Edgel. Jason Rollins. Eric Grayson. Eric Reeser. Sean Taylor. Seth Edelblut. Andrew Cramlett. Jeff Chalfont. That's certainly not 50%, but by far the largest number of football players we've ever had make the All-SUAL academic team. We want to congratulate you guys as well. Okay, three years ago, we instituted a sportsmanship award in honor of Mr. Lauren Weinstock, who was an administrator here at the school for a number of years and believed and preached sportsmanship. And we award a Lauren Weinstock Sportsmanship Award to one person in each sport activity. And then at the end of the year, those that have won, their names are put together, and from that is selected the R.C. Griffin Sportsmanship Award. The winner for cheerleaders this time is Amber Wilson. And in football, Jesse Lucas. All right, we'll get the rest of the activities underway. Cheryl always begs me to go first so she can get it over with. So we'll let Cheryl go first, and then Joy will follow her.
Cheryl.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fowles. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you, Coach Duvall, and all of your coaching staff for a great football season. And also, I want to congratulate all the young gentlemen out there who worked hard and played hard this season to make us all true champions. You coaches, football players, and everyone involved have made the cheerleaders proud to cheer for Warren High School. At this time, I would like for the freshman cheerleaders to please come up. Yeah! I'd like to introduce my varsity squad. I'd like to start with my three seniors. First one is Autumn Haig. Next, Megan Longenacre. And Amber Wilson. Okay. Amber Wilson is, Autumn Haig is her second year of varsity. She will receive a certificate and a bar. Next is Amber Wilson. She's third year varsity. She will receive a certificate and a bar. Next, Megan Longenacre is her first year of varsity. She will receive a certificate, a bar, and a megaphone. Now I'd like to introduce our one junior. That's Stephanie Lewis. This is Stephanie's second year varsity. She will receive one certificate and one bar. Now I'd like to introduce 9 sophomores. Natalie Barnes. Go Nat! Yeah! Jamie Bennett. Laura Bolton. Joanna Hamrick. Shannon Lang. Stacy Lovett. Megan Nichols. Arian Webb. This is their first year varsity. They will all receive a certificate, one bar, a megaphone, and they'll also receive a certificate for their varsity letter.
I think the school spirit is an all-time high. it's all due to them and Joy and Cheryl and the hard work that they do. I don't know how many different places I've gone this year, and people were very envious about the way we decorate the stadium for our games and so forth, and they've really worked hard, and we really appreciate it. Let's give them one last round of applause. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Coach Footbal. I don't know why, unfortunately, he was not the SEOL Coach of the Year, but in our minds, in our hearts, surely he was, and the things that he has done, and his staff has done, and I'm sure he'll give his staff the credit that he deserves, a lot of credit as well. We're very proud of our football team. Again, every place I go, people compliment us, not only on how well we play football, but that we have fine young men playing the game. And that says a lot. And I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud to represent Warren High School when I go various places, because people can say that we do have fine young men who do that. We've had a great fall season. I mean, I don't think there is another fall season that will equal this fall season. We've had 2 teams win league championships. We've had 2 teams runners-up in the district. We've had 1 team that was runner-up in the league championship. I don't know whether you know this or not, but the league gives out an all-sport trophy at the end of the year. And they calculate it on the basis of points according to the number of teams that participate. Like in football, there's 8 teams, so the first place team gets 8 points, second one 7, and so forth. Logan has won it every time but once. Marietta won it one time a couple of years ago. Right now, we're in position to win that. And it's the first time we've been that high and that close. It's going to take a lot of work from our winter sports and our spring sports to stay up there, but certainly our fall sports have done more than their share to get us in that position to win that. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about our athletic program here. We've got a lot of good people who are coaching our teams. I think you parents can be very proud of our cheerleader sponsors, our football coaches, all of our coaches. They have your young people at heart. They really care about young people. And I think that's why we won this year, because our coaches really do care about young people. I'm really proud of what the football team has done. I'm really proud of Coach Footbal. And I'll introduce you to Coach Mike Duvall.
I think you're wrong, Coach. I think we'll win it every year. And I want to remind the football team, the picture behind us here, Debbie was kind enough to bring that in. Where's Debbie? Oh, she's back there taking pictures. She had 2 of these made up. One belongs to her, but the other one's going to go to the school here. And sometime tomorrow, you make sure you see me throughout the day, and I want everybody that's on the team to sign it. So we can put it up down there in the trophy case, and everybody can see who was on this championship team. If you look over here, you see all the championship teams that we've had since 1963. Football has been around, I think, about 45 years. But we've got 8 of them. We're going to change that black to yellow eventually, and we just hope to keep adding them right down the road. I want to start out by thanking those people who donated so much time and effort to the program this year. We couldn't survive without these people. I first of all want to thank the administration, Mr. Caldwell, Mr. Well, Mr. Combs. Everything went smooth. There were no problems. And if there was a problem, it was taken care of very quickly. You can't do it without a great administration, and I think we have one here. I want to thank Mr. Fallon. I think winning begins at the top. He's the boss. When you see a great fall sports season, you have to blame him. He's the one responsible, and I appreciate him very much. And again, if we had a problem, he took care of it. They became very small. I want to thank the cheerleaders. Guys, I don't know what it was like here at Warren before, but I do know what it's like now. And I do have to say that the cheerleaders are a big, big, big part of that. If you go to the pep assemblies or you walk around the halls, the spirit's here. And I think it's here for a long time to stay. I want to thank Debbie Thomas, Bonnie Taylor, Brenda Evans, Mrs. Edelblut, their husbands, and everybody that helped feed the teams. And there was more than that. but they fed 60 kids down there, sometimes more than 60 kids before ball games, and fed us after ball games, and I appreciate that very much. I also want to thank John Fry and A.J. Newsom. Where's A.J.? I see John back here. Where's A.J. at? Is he around? Those guys working for an Eagle Scout badge or award did a lot of scraping and a lot of painting and a lot of repair on our outside facilities. The concession stand and the bleachers down there. And I don't know about you ones, but let me tell you, we have probably the finest facilities, outside facilities of anybody in the lake. Try to park at Gallia. Of course, I don't have a lot of problem parking, but let me tell you, there's a lot of trouble parking at Gallia and Logan and all the other schools. We have it pretty doggone nice around here. I want to thank Regis Kern and the Boosters Club for their financial support. If they weren't around to give us that support, we wouldn't be winners. I appreciate it very much. They bought a lot of equipment that came in very handy this year and was certainly the difference between winning and losing. Valerie Carr, Valerie sitting right over here, and her husband, she taught ballet to the boys this spring and summer. She sometimes had 40 kids, sometimes had 60 kids in there, and she put them through the paces. And we just want to say we appreciate it very much. I've got you and your husband here, and I have to apologize, they're both extra large. No offense, but if you would want to come up, I'd like to give you, and we have something else coming. It'll be later, and I'll make sure that I get that to you. But if you would accept this in our appreciation, and I'm sure the boys loved it. Just loved it. I want to thank Frankie and Jim Rhodes for putting the W in the middle of the football field. They were out there very late on a lot of Thursday nights painting that W in, and we appreciate it very much. It really added a lot of class to our ball games. There's so many others that we could thank, the chain crew and the bus drivers and the custodians who are out there liming that field before a game. There's almost too many to mention here at this time, but I do want you to know that we appreciate them very much. And most importantly, I'd like to thank the parents. I don't think you have to go but about 5 minutes to any of the local schools, whether it be, and I don't want to say Parkersburg or Parkersburg South or Marietta or any of the others in the area, to know the quality of kids that we have in this school. And let me tell you, guys, you're responsible for that. We have great kids. We must also have great parents. We must also have great families. It's a whole lot better than it is any place else that I've ever been or ever been to. And I appreciate it very much. And also my wife down here, who listens to me whine and complain, and she'll do it for a long time and eventually just tell me to shut up. Behind every good man, and I'm not sure that I'm a good man, but behind every good man there's also a great woman, and I would have to say that I put her in that category. And I appreciate her very much. And I also want to congratulate soccer, volleyball with its greatest season ever, if I'm not mistaken. The cheerleaders, who they've already said has won their 2 first places this year, let alone the enthusiasm they bring to the school. Cross country with one of their best seasons ever. The band that finished second out at the Nationals and even raised up a class and still finished in with a number 2. I don't think they say second. Number 2 rating, and they had a great performance. And guys, even the golf team. And you know, the golf team, they don't want to talk about them winning a league championship or having a great season, but you got to remember in the first contest they finished last. By the end of the year, they were doing pretty doggone good. So everything that took place in the fall ended up having a great season, and I'm very proud that just to be a part of that and just to be a part of Warren Local. And if I forgot anyone, I got a little note at the bottom. If I did forget anyone, forgive me. I don't intend to. It's just that sometimes I'm not very smart. I want to introduce my coaches at this time. I ask for 3 things out of our coaches. I ask for loyalty, I ask for dedication, and I ask for sacrifice. And they do just that. We sometimes work 14, sometimes 16, sometimes longer hours than that. There's times that we come in on a Sunday at 3 o'clock, and sometimes we get out at midnight. If we're not yelling at each other or throwing things at each other. Isn't that right, Coach? I should ask your wife. You notice I took my tie off. I figured Coach is setting the trend here and left his tie at home, so I had to take mine off to look maybe not as good, but close. Coaching our 8th grade this year, Jim Rhodes down here. If you just stand up, I won't say too much about you. An old graduate of Warren. Chuck Robinson, is Chuck here? Chuck, he was also our PR man, which is very important. If we don't have that great relationship with the newspapers, boy, we don't get the names of these kids out there for colleges to look at. And he did a great job for us. And Dan McAtee, is Dan here? All three of these guys did a great job for us at the 8th grade level, and that's kind of where you get kids started and headed in the right direction. So I appreciate that. Next, we have Coach Gary Gribble, class of 1960. Close. But Gary helps year-round. We took a trip to Bucknell with the team this year. Gary helped drive some of the kids up. He took care of our offense during not only that trip, but the entire passing league during the summer. He's always there in the weight room. Not only does he coach 9th grade, but he does so much more, and we appreciate it. And the other one, Denny Reynolds, and if you happen to look inside your program, you'll see those people that were inducted into the Football Hall of Fame here. And Denny was one of those first inductees, and we're very proud of him, and also the job that he does for us here. I appreciate it. You guys really get the 9th graders off to a great start and work extremely well with them. Starting with the varsity staff, right beside me here, Coach Don. Coach Don had our offensive backs. He also took care of the offensive game plan. And guys, I think stats speak for themselves there. He did a great job for us, and we expect even, that's the trouble. When you do a good job, we expect more and more and more. And we do expect more out of him next year. And I'm sure that he'll come through. Next to him, Coach Roy Jamison, 29 years at Warren Local. I'd say that's dedication. Maybe after 29 years, you can't get up. I'm not far behind you, Coach. But Coach had our defensive tackles this year. Coach Sikorsky, did he make it yet? He's on his way. He had to go home after practice. Is he here yet? He will be here. He promised me he'd be here. He had to go home, shower, shave, whatever else he did, and he's on his way back. But Coach Sikorsky was responsible for our linebackers and our quarterbacks, and he also coordinated our special teams this year. Next, Coach Martin Santini. Coach Martin is not only the wrestling coach, which started tonight, and has been a great one at that, but he's also responsible for our wide receivers. And we moved every coach this year but one. And they're not going to like this. We're probably going to move each and every coach again next year. We want them to learn every position of the offense and defense so that when we're ready to compete at the state level, we'll know everything that we need to know about football and can kind of coordinate and help each other out. But if you noticed our wide receivers this year, guys, I think we threw for about 1,511 yards. And not only did our catches improve, but yardage after catch also improved. And I think Coach had a whole lot to do with that. Next, we had Coach Shad, class of 68. Coach Shad was responsible for our defensive ends, and everybody knows you have to have great defensive ends to play football. Next, Pat Craycroft. Pat took over. Coach Pat took over our offensive line this year. And again, if you have great backs, like I think we do, and we have a lot of yardage on offense, like we did this year, you have to blame it on the line. You cannot have a great team, you cannot have great backs without having a great front line. And I think he did a great job and is only going to improve in the future. Next, an old friend and a coach that's been with me for a long time, our defensive coordinator and new health teacher, by the way, Coach Kevin Welsh. Coach was responsible for a secondary, and if I'm not mistaken, it was one. There's Coach Sikorsky, and you look nice, Coach. Yeah. But Coach was responsible for the secondary that I think led the league as far as touchdowns scored and yardage against. And Coach Kevin Rieger, is he here tonight? This guy is so important. I mean to tell you, he comes and watches films with us, but it's the films he takes to make sure that he does it the way we want him to do it. We probably have 12 films out to colleges right now. We have 2 or 3 more that have to go out. We watch films continuously over the weekend, and without good quality films like Kevin takes, it would be almost impossible. We went 8-2 this year, and I think we went 8-2 because of, number 1, great talent, number 2, great fans, and I do mean great fans. I don't care where you go, we're as good as anybody. And number 3, a great staff, and I think we have just that. As far as stats go this year, we had 3,500 yards of offense. And by the way, we set a lot of goals before the year began. I set a 4-year goal plan when I came here. I knew how many games I wanted to win. I knew what we wanted to accomplish. I knew what we wanted to start. Our team does the same thing every year. And we wanted to have 3,000 yards on offense. We ended up with about 3,700 yards. That's about 370 yards per game. That's not too bad. Defensively, we wanted 2,400 yards. We gave up 2,500. We outscored our opponent by about 107 points. That's not too bad. But the great thing I think about this team is that, guys, if you look at Parkersburg South, we could have lost that game. Gallia, we could have lost it. And Logan, we could have lost it. And even right down to the last games with Athens and Marietta, there was times we could have lost it. The great thing about this team isn't the accomplishments, isn't the yardage, isn't the touchdowns, but it's the character. Every time we were at a point where we could have lost the ball game, the seniors and the character throughout the class kind of picked us up, put us back in motion. We ended up having a great year. We could have easily been 2-8, but we didn't accept that. We went on and became 8-2. And because of that, I'm extremely proud of this team, not because of all the other goals that we happened to reach. And that's why we're here, I guess, is to meet these athletes. And my coaches are going to introduce them. And I think first on, who is first? Coach Don? All right, so if you'll go around front, Coach, he's going to introduce the ball boys. And
Andy Cramley. He rushed the ball 11 times.
Aaron Winters, Isaac Smith, we'd like to say a few words about the group here. We have the defensive end group first. Actually, there's a couple others who I hadn't called up because they will receive their awards with another group on offense later on, but that's Seth Edelbrook and Chip Robinson. So if you two would please stand, I recognize you. Some know you, some don't. Like Coach Footbal had said, that if you're going to be in a game, you have to play tough defense. It comes from tough play from your defensive ends. We had 2 seniors in Chip and Seth that we relied on. They were one of the members of the older group, of a young linebacker group, so we kind of leaned on them a little bit more. There was actually most teams that we faced this year, we were undermatched in size, height, weight, speed, strength. There was maybe 3 opponents that we faced that we matched up with them. The rest of them, we didn't overmatch them at all. So what does that leave with the job that we got done? That means they had a lot of heart and determination and a big word, commitment. Now we leaned on these fellows. It was hard on them. I really felt we were real hard on them and kept after them all season long to do the job when we had to. Chip had 7 tackles per game average. Seth had just a little under 6. Chip had 6 bats, batted down the pass. The quarterback from our opponents tried to throw the ball and he'd reach up or jump up, bat it down. One such example is Parkersburg South. He had 4 bats. He batted the pass down 4 times, and he almost single-handedly took away maybe 1/4 of their entire offense in a play that they tried to run because they felt it was open, and he took it away. So they had 2 things not open. The one he took away plus the rest of the team that forced him to go that way. Seth, we had him on offense as well as our defense here. He was there for some reason, maybe not great statistics, but he was solid, and he still had the commitment to stay in there and stick it out. We got Isaac here. Isaac worked hard. Probably there isn't a single player or coach on the team here that wouldn't say he was the hardest worker, one of the hardest workers, hardest hitters, right up to the very last practice. That's Isaac. And he was called upon the last game. Things changed, and he got the job done for us. John told me earlier this season he didn't want to play on JV. He wanted to play varsity. And he worked hard. He learned everything he could. You know, relatively inexperienced at it, and he worked his way up till he was called upon in 4 of our last games. Nathan's the next with our kickers. Nathan was last year's place kicker. This year's place kicker, he kicked 31 of 34 extra points. That's 91% average. He had called upon to kick some field goals. He kicked a 37-yarder and a 43-yarder, which tied a record set by Mike Paul several years ago. I mean, 91%. Kickoff artist, you might say. We want him to kick it to the end line, the goal line. Kick it high, kick it to the goal line. He would do that. If we wanted to kick him short, 20, 30 yards, and made it take 3 bounces in a hop. If he called on him for that. Kick it left, kick it right, kick it to this guy, kick to that guy. I mean, that's a lot of pressure on somebody that, you know, is relatively inexperienced at that point. And he got the job done. Also, he was we called on him to be the safety in case something broke through. He had a game, or not a game, but a touchdown saving tackle in one of our games too. He got knocked down, got back up, and came back. Next to the last over there, Mike Morris. We're going to work on Mike and get him ready. We've worked on him all season long. Probably one that we'll call upon in that area, the defensive end group for next year. Okay, all these receive either a first-year letter, if they're the first year for lettering. If they've lettered in some other sport, they'll receive a football if they receive a letter in the football, and then if they had a second year or third year, they would receive a bar also. Okay, John, you'll receive a letter, a football, and a bar, and there's also a certificate certifying that you can go and order yourself a varsity jacket. Isaac already lettered in wrestling, I believe, so he will receive a football for lettering in football here and the bar. Okay, Nathan, you lettered last year in football as our place kicker. This year you'll get his second bar for his second letter. Mike will receive a certificate. Depending on him this year. There's one other thing we need to get her back. Okay, Gabe gets his football bar. Gabe was lettered in soccer, so he will receive his letter with his football and his bar.
Yeah!
One other thing, I don't know if we got them out or not. Did you pass this out, Coach?
Got them all.
Okay, because we were SEOAL champs, everybody, players, managers, coaches alike, will receive that nice round patch and we can sew on our varsity jacket. Thank you.
Yeah!
Thank you, Coach. Yeah, and when you take those certificates, wherever you're going to go for those letter jackets, just remember they cost about $175. I apologize for that. All right, next, introducing the defensive tackle, Coach Jamison.
A couple of things that I wanted to say before I forget. Coach Duvall said I'd been here 29 years, just a little over 29. This was my 30th year in football. And yes, I know I look a lot younger. I made a mistake in one of my classes the other day. We got into ages. I don't know how we got to that, but we did. And someone wiggled my age out of this. And one of the kids, and you can imagine 15, 14-year-old, they said, "You must be the oldest man in the world." And they didn't say it being mean. That was almost a truthful. I'll never get into that again. No age problems in algebra. But a couple of things that I thought about over those years. We've had a lot of good quarterbacks, and we've had a lot of good offensive lines and good running back. But offensively, it was tremendous. And out of those quarterbacks that we've had at Warren High School, I could name you some that were really tremendous athletes. I mean, you usually put a good athlete at quarterback, and we've had some really great ones. And to have a quarterback that got 1,500 and some yards, that's amazing. I mean, that's not good. That's amazing to me. And the line, the offensive line, of course, deserves a lot of credit there. And the offensive backs, because you have to gain ground on the ground in order to get it in the air. So I'll tell you what, I know that Coach Kim probably is going to mention and talk about this more, but I want to tell you that I think that's a tremendous 1,500 yards out of the quarterback, and then the offensive altogether. I'd like to give him a hand, please. And if I didn't make that clear that I thought that was a record, it is a record here at the high school. Second thing, I'd like to thank Coach Don for helping me out on the defensive line. It's pretty hard to go cold turkey, from offensive backs to defensive tackles. So Don helped me out there, and I expect there's a lot of times he'd like to have jumped in and said, "No, let's do it this way," but he didn't. He stayed back. So I thank him a lot for that. These tackles that I worked with this year, I really enjoyed the year, and I'd like to make a comment about some of them as we go down through here. I don't know whether Matt Millarn's here or not. Jason Science, Nick Dunphy. Now Nick played a lot of. Nick gets a certificate this year. And, okay, I'm sorry.
Some of the boys I don't know, and I've not learned anything tonight.
Okay. Is it on now?
No.
Testing.
That's why last year at the talent show, he won it. We got rained out this year, but next year. All right, to introduce the wide receivers, Coach Santini. Come on up, Coach.
Coach Jameson, we had to time you with an hourglass on that rambling speech. Have anything to do with age? You hear me all right? This year I had the wide receivers, which is about as big a turnaround as you can have from the year before. 2 years ago, my job was to stop the wide receivers as the defensive back coach. I took the knowledge I learned there, which wasn't a lot. We didn't do too well last year defensive back-wise, did we? And applied it to the offensive wide receivers. Despite what Coach Jameson said about what a great quarterback we had, if our receivers didn't hold on to the ball, he wouldn't have been anything.
Okay, I forgot that.
Introducing the wide receivers, Waylon McNutt. Rick Petty. Unfortunately, we really didn't know how good Rick could be. The first JV game of the year, back early August, He broke his leg. He's still in a cast. So we really didn't know how good he could be. Don Morgan, one of our tight ends. He's also a JV punter, did a very good job in that. And in his one varsity punt, he kicked the ball pretty well. Corey Ross. Mike Hopkins. Really don't know how good Mike could be. He broke his hand and missed most of the season. Kind of tough out where we were. Ryan Kimberly. This was Ryan's first year out. He was an outstanding blocker from the split end position. In fact, we tried to move him into tight end. He wouldn't like that. So he ends up moving to defensive tackle. An interesting combination. Wide receiver, defensive tackle. And he did a fantastic job at both of those. We're looking forward to having him back next year and seeing which one he'll pick to help the varsity with. Sean Murphy gets his first letter. We had great plans for Sean this year. He was going to back up our tight end and give Chip some rest because Chip's going both ways. Unfortunately, the third game of the year, he breaks his leg and came back in time for the Marietta game. So his statistics don't show exactly what we're hoping from him next year. And last but not least, Dan Greenwald. Dan did an outstanding job. I wish he was here so we could brag on him a little bit. He did an outstanding job for us. He's 22 catches, led the team. His 550 yards receiving led the team, which was a 25-yard average every time he touched the ball. He scored 5 touchdowns, 6 two-point conversions for a total of 36 yards. The great thing about our quarterback-wide receiver tandem, not to mention 2 very good backup tight ends, they're back next year. Hopefully, we can take this 1,537 yards in passing and improve. And whoever coaches the wide receivers next year, since Mike said we're switching already, I hope you can get 2,000 yards in the passing game. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. All right, to introduce the offensive line, Coach Pat Trakoff.
Having your offense gain a total of over 3,500 yards in a season is a great accomplishment for any high school football team. I'm proud to have had the opportunity to coach such a group of determined athletes. I'd like to give special thanks to Kevin Welch for assisting me in coaching the offensive line, and I say this on behalf of all of the offensive linemen. Thanks, Kevin. I'd like to first introduce the offensive linemen that earned certificates of participation. Certificate winners include Travis Jarvis, Travis is a sophomore junior who played center and guard, special teams. This is his first letter, and we look forward to John working hard this year in the off-season to try to earn a spot on our varsity offensive line next year. Next is Shane Sadler. Defensive end. This is his third football letter. Seth has a great deal of athletic ability and leadership, which allowed him to become the quality player that he was. He'll certainly be missed on our football team. Eric is a senior, played offensive guard, defensive tackle. This is his third letter for football.
No, actually, we know that that's mostly quarterback sneaks, and when he did that, it was always for touchdowns, first downs, and those type of things. And again, I would be remiss if I didn't say something about the overall offensive scheme. You know, Coach Mike has been in the game a long, long time. He proved to me, someone who coached at a different high school that also had years of 3,000-yard offensive teams, that there are more ways to play this football game and be very, very successful. This is not the way we played. However, it's just as successful as the way we play. and you fit your team around the offense that you want to run, and that's very, very important. 3,500 yards or whatever it turned out to be. I've got them in front of me. I can't find all the stats. But, that's just amazing. It really is amazing. And the offensive line, receivers, tight ends, backs, they all deserve an awful lot of credit. And I think Sean would be the first to admit that. Yet at the same time, to have a quarterback that can come out and throw for 1,517 yards, a quarterback that had only about 5 games of experience last year and was very green, and he would admit that. But he worked very hard. Passing scrimmages, he was always there. Camp, he was always there. And probably the greatest asset, something that maybe the human eye can't see out there, is how well he knows the game. Now, this is a new offense to me. I've been here as long as he's been here in regard to this offense. He knows the offense 4 times better than I know the offense. And there's no question about that, and I admit it. And, I'll say something to him, and he'll tell me back.
Well, you get a lot of credit in the newspaper, but yet open up those holes and keep out the pass rush that enable those people that do get their names in the paper to be there. And we made it over 3,000 yards. We might have to raise that in the future here. But those offensive linemen, if you will come forward, and Coach will help me hunt these up. Oh, they're in order? Right there, Coach. Chip Robinson, Brett Marlowe, Eric Grayson, Shane Sadler, Seth Edelblut, and Scott Russell. Come on up, gentlemen. 53% completion, 13 touchdowns, and 13 extra points. Come on up, Sean. Brandon Church had 779 yards rushing and 320 yards receiving. So come on up. 8 yards. We had 2 tied with 23 receptions. Brandon Church had 23 and Dan Greenwald had 23. And Jeremy's a defensive player. He's a player. Pass interceptions, knockdown passes. We also had 2 that tied. Chad Canfield and Rob Duvall. You see what's up. Most sacks on this year's team, Josh Tolis. That the players voted on went to Jesse Lucas, and he's already received his award earlier. He's a great kid, too, let me tell you. Most improved was also voted on by the team, and the recipient of that reward, Andrew Cramlett. By the players, this had to do with, actually, the young man came in, I think, 3rd in tackles or 4th in tackles, 2nd in takeaways, most improved. I don't know why. I thought it was pretty good to begin with. But most improved, he came in 2nd. Players award goes Scott Hendricks. Where's Scott at? All-League team, Sean Taylor. By the way, in my opinion, Eric should have been Player of the Year in the SEOAL. My opinion. But that goes a long way around. Congratulations. Also selected defensively, Jeremy Thomas. Congratulations, Jeremy. And last but not least, Eric Grayson. Congratulations. I like that t-shirt. Good looking t-shirt. These are great young men, and I think all 4 have a great future, not only at this level, but maybe at a school and another level beyond this, right? Thank you, gentlemen. Out earlier, I think you play on tradition. When these kids walk on the field down there, they know that before them was about 650 other players that walked on that field, that played on that field, that won football games and championships for Warren Local. This has been a great team that earned every bit of it this year. But at the same time, they also leave a legacy and some tradition that you underclassmen have to live up to now. And we're going to set goals next year, just like we did this year. and they're going to be a lot tougher than they were this year. And in some cases, you may think unattainable. I don't see why we can't be 9-1 or 10-0. I don't know there's ever been a 10-0 team here at Warren. Maybe it's about time we had one. I think that we can make the state playoffs, and I think we can win at the state level. If we have the courage to give everything we've got to reach those goals, and the dedication to be the very best that we can be, there isn't anything here at Warren that we can't do, that we can't attain. I thank you very much for coming tonight and for allowing me to be a part of the program, and I'll turn it back over to Coach Day.
To all the seniors signed, put their number on. I'd like to present this to Coach. First win over Logan.
This is just something from the whole team to show our appreciation to Coach.
I hope not. It's almost too pretty to open.
Oh, okay, great. Come.
Oh, I tell you, gentlemen. So far this year, and I think all of us have a right to be proud of our athletes and what they have done to represent not only the school, but their families and themselves. I'd like to start out the festivities this evening by giving out some special awards, and then we'll turn them over to the coaches to give out some things. Each year, beginning 3 years ago, we instituted an award called the Lauren Weinstock Sportsmanship Award. And we asked the coaches to pick out one athlete from their team that they think epitomizes sportsmanship both on and off the field and shows leadership. The award was named after Mr. Weinstock, who was an administrator here for a number of years, believed very strongly in sportsmanship and leadership, and we were privileged when we first presented these awards 3 years ago for him to come and present those first awards. The winners of these awards, at the end of the year, their names will be put in a list, and then from that will be selected a male and a female, which will be presented the Archie Griffith Sportsmanship Award, which is in honor of the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner in football who represented Ohio State. So let me present these awards. We presented this young man with one last night. We're happy to present him with another one tonight from the soccer team, Nathan Evans. From boys cross country, Peter Siegel. Girls cross country, Lisa Vaughn.
Volleyball, Tiffany Barnes. I think I was wrong. Nathan didn't get that last night. It's one of these he got last night. The next awards I'd like to present our league that we're affiliated with, the Southeastern High Athletic League, recognizes those athletes that have a grade point average of 3.5 or better for the previous grading period, which would be, for us, the last 9 weeks. They don't want us to round off 3.49 to 3.5. It must be 3.5 or better. Last night at the football cheerleader banquet, we had 10 football players and 5 cheerleaders, and I think that was tremendous for them. And tonight is no different. We have a large number, and I'd like for them to come up and please remain up here until after we presented all the awards. In soccer, Josh Wagner. Josh not here?
Which Josh Wagner? Specify.
Which one got 3.5? W-A-G-N-E-R. Corey Ginter. This is what Nathan got, is getting the second one up. Nathan Evans. Golf, Josh Clancy. Mark Taylor. Thank you, Homestead. How about Dan Hess? Volleyball, Tiffany Barnes. Tricia Alloway. Jenny Brown. Julie Wagner. Stephanie Elder. Stephanie Clark. Or Stacy Clark, I'm sorry. Cross country, Seth Barrett. Harvest Sparling. Dick Kern. Yvonne Reynolds. Tracy Moore. And Peter Siegel. If I counted right, that's 14 and 4 not here. So that's an excellent representation, and we're really proud of these young people for not only their athletic accomplishments, but for excelling in the classroom as well. Let's give them one more round of applause. I think probably we have enjoyed the most success in a fall sports that we've ever enjoyed here at Warren High School. At least I know that's true in the last 11 years that I've been here, and I think probably goes all the way back. We've had 2 league championships, 2 district runner-up teams, and everyone has placed exceptionally high. You may not be familiar with this, but the league awards a trophy at the end of the year based on the number of points that you accumulate. For example, if you win the league championship and there's 8 teams that participate, then the first place team gets 8, the second 7, and right on down. And if there's only 6 teams that participate, then you get 6, 5, 4, so forth. The only 2 teams that have ever won that trophy are Logan and Marietta won at one time. They beat Logan by half a point 2 years ago. Right now, we have more points than anybody else. We've really had a great fall. I think that says a lot, not only for athletes, but for our coaches. They've worked hard, spent a lot of time in the summer, gave up their summers, doing a lot of things for our athletes, and we're really proud of all of them. And we're proud of you as parents for getting them here, seeing to them that they are at practices, open gyms, sometimes sacrifice vacations so that they can be at their activities and so forth, and it's greatly appreciated. And they've worked really hard. I think with our winter sports and our spring sports, we've got an excellent chance of breaking that Logan and Marietta hold and bringing that trophy home to Warren High School. I'm going to go a little bit different in order than what's in your program. We're going to ask Coach Bill DeZalvo to come up and present the golf awards first. I think injuries hurt him quite a bit, and we slipped a little bit, but they've done an outstanding job, and I've enjoyed working with them. I'll turn it over to Clint Webb first, and he can introduce Bob to you and present the awards.
First of all, I'd like to thank Dave Faust and the school board for hiring Bob and myself to coach your kids. I spent a lot of hours in Dave's office talking, and he's giving me tips and trying to lead me through the way. I'd like to thank our wives for putting up with it. I know it was kind of tough. Every night after a soccer game, the first thing I did when I got home was put in the tape and watch it. And she said, you just watched it. Why you want to watch it again? I did anyway. I'd like to also thank Tim Barnes and Charlie Wentz for starting the program for our students. I think they did a good job. Also Neil Pinkerton, Bob Briley, Chrissy Schofield for doing stats and videoing. If I'm shaking, I am nervous, okay? I'd like to thank also Doug Huffman for his years of announcing. I think some of the fans, they didn't understand the game. He made it a little bit easier for them. And I was also told not to say on a lot too, and I'm doing that already. And again, Rusty Swaney, Dan Mason, Zach Webb for their help at the games, the parents for making the food for the players before a tournament and working at the concession stand at the football games. Larry Richards for doing the sweatshirts. He did a good job. And I'd also like to thank the boosters for helping us out with the things that we need to continue to play soccer. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, okay? But, at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Bob to announce the JV players and give them their certificates. So, Bob, you want to come up?
I thought he was nervous. Let's see, we'll just make this quick. Jeremy Allen. Aaron Amrine, I don't think he's here. Joey Baker.
Henry Benedict. Andy Krauser. Jesse Dickey. I haven't seen Joey Fox either. Brad Hoyt. Brent Johnson. Ricky Costco. Eric Dalton. Nathan Lang. Justin McIntosh. Marty Olivar. Nick Padgett. I haven't seen him tonight. Bobby Richards. Josh Wagner. Chris West. Sam Wynn.
Coach.
Hey, we didn't leave you out. I just want to say that this was the most fun I've had coaching since I've been coaching, and I really look forward to these guys having a good team next year. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to say a few short things about the varsity. A lot of these kids I've been coaching for a long time, and I've really enjoyed coaching them. We're going to lose 4 seniors, and I'd like those guys to stand up right now, please. I think 3 of them are here. We're only losing these 3, but these guys have done a heck of a job. In our scoring, they've been involved in 73% of our scoring, and combined also for a total of 42 non-goalie saves, which Corey leads with 37. And I think he probably leads the league in non-goalie saves. Also, when we went to the tournaments, we played Logan and Marietta. We lost to Marietta, but I would like for these people to stand up, please. Joey Baker, Justin McIntosh, Rick Costco, Eric Knowlton, Josh Wagner, Joey Fox, Brent Johnson, Chris West, Jesse Dickey, and Sam Wynn. You guys don't stop the tournament. scored the winning goal at Logan to let us advance. Sam come in and helped out Shane when he was hurt and shut out Logan, and Sam also had 21 varsity saves. They did a great job. So guys, when I call out your name, please come up here and I'll give you your certificate. Jeff Briley, his first year lettering. Shane Krauser. Matt Eifler. Nathan Evans. Fernando Faria. Fernando's not here. He was our foreign exchange student, and I was doing some shooting drills in practice, and Fernando was telling me I was doing them wrong. And so I told him the next time we get a penalty kick that he was going to take it. And he did against Marietta, and he made it. So, and he's not going to be here next year to help me out with our shooting drills. So, Corey Genther. Carl Hall. Mark Lane. Josh Martin. Matt Miner. Austin Murphy, the only freshman in the letter this year. Andy Pinkerton. Shane Richards, who had, I think, 175 goalie saves. Chris Spencer. Josh Wagner. Kevin Wallace. And last but not least, Gabe Webb. So let's give them all a big hand, all right?
You guys gonna give this to me?
Got other one.
Next, we have some team awards. Most improved player, most valuable player, and the students voted on that. And I'll tell you, it was a real close race. Most improved player was sophomore Josh Wagner. Oh, Josh, you could be making a killing here, you know that? Most valuable player was Corey Genther. In the All-League, it was all the teams that voted, and coaches are not allowed to vote for their own players. We did have 3. Carl Hall. all-district team. And we had 4 players that made it. For the honorable mention, I don't have the certificates. They tell me they're in the mail. Honorable mention, Carl Hall, all-district. And Nathan Evans had honorable mention. Second team all-district, Corey Ginther. Should have made first team. First team all-district played in the game Sunday. If any of you come out and watch it, the South did win 4-1. I think the last few years we've tied. First team all-district was Gabe Webb. The last thing I have to give out, I'm a member of the Ohio Scholastic Soccer Coaches Association, and they have an academic award that out of 38 schools in our district, only 18 student seniors were eligible for this, and you have to have an overall GPA of 3.7 starting from your freshman year. And we are honored that one of our students at this school made that achievement. That's Nathan Evans. So in closing, I would like to thank everyone for showing up and for your support all year, and we hope to see you next year, and hopefully we can get the league next year.
We got Coach a plaque just to show our appreciation for all the hard work he did this year.
Us the second in the league, which is the first for our program since we entered the league. We've always been down in the cellar. At the tournament, the team won the sectionals for the first time in 11 years and received the district runner-up trophy for the first time in school history that I know of for our volleyball program. Needless to say, our pride and spirit is back in volleyball. Now I'd like to introduce our team. Our first-year letters is Jenny Brown. She was our middle hitter. She has lettered in another sport, I believe, track, and she will receive a bar and as well as the volleyball. Okay. By the way, these are all juniors. Teresa Castro, our setter, and she will earn her first letter. Allie McGinnis, who is our outside hitter, and then our junior. Allie has already lettered in softball last year, so she will receive her first volleyball pin and bar. Next, we have Georgia Miles, who's an outside hitter as well as a backside hitter, and she will be receiving her first letter. We have 2 people who will receive her first letter who are not here tonight, but I still would like to recognize them. One is Julie Wagner, and the other is Rebecca Foreman, who had surgery last week, getting her tonsils out, and she's still recovering, and we wish her well. Our second year letter is junior Tiffany Barnes. She's our setter. And our senior, Stacy Clark, outside hitter. Then we have our third-year letter winners. First, Trisha Alloway. I'm holding off on what I'm going to call her because when you sit down and think about what position she plays, I have to sum it up as our defensive specialist. This girl will hit the floor, do pancakes, and whatever it is to keep the ball alive, as well as being our setter and hitter. So she is in all three categories. Next is Stephanie Elder, our senior middle hitter. And last but not least, Angie Reeder was our outside hitter, and she cannot be here with us tonight. I also would like to thank our manager and scorekeepers, Samantha and Cassie. Without you two, you are our lifesavers, and we hope to see you back next year so you can receive your letter. They are most reliable people we can count on as far as scorekeeping, running and doing errands for us, and whatever needs to be done, they did it. Next, we have the awards for Most Improved Player and Most Valuable Player. I would like to do something different this year. I have combined these two awards due to our team voting. When we got together and voted, it was evident that the girls felt that not one particular individual was more valuable or more improved than the other. And go back throughout the season when we said it was going to take all 11 girls to contribute to reach our team goals. And without each and every player improving on all aspects of the game and playing to the next level, we would not have been as successful. And because of all their hard work and many team and individual records were broken this year. So I hope you as parents and relatives and fans will agree that instead of giving an individual award for the most improved or most valuable, we're going to recognize this 1995 team as our most valuable and most improved team. Each girl in their packet has received a certificate with their name on it in this aspect of the award. Hopefully you will agree. Next we have our SEOAL award. These are voted through the coaches in our league. As Mr. Webb said, that we as a coach cannot vote for our own team. And our awards go to Trisha Alloway, Tiffany Barnes, and Stephanie Elder, who has received it for her second year. Our All District 12 award goes to Stephanie Elder. Played in the All-Star match, which is made up of all seniors, and if this is the first time I can ever recall that we've had any representative from Warren High School play in this tournament. And if I believe our area won, right? That's 4 out of 5. They played 3 out of 5 games in this match, and we won. So congratulations. We also have 2 young ladies that made honorable mention all district, and they either received their certificates or will receive their certificates, and that is Trisha Alloway and Tiffany Barnes. Last but not least, one of the awards we like to give out is our parents wanted to do something special for you ladies, and they wanted to give you something to show for your accomplishments in the tournament. Each and every one of them will receive a patch in which they can place on their varsity jacket, and it will say District Runner-Up, 1995. And these came from your parents for your hard work, ladies. So you have to thank them. I have to say this quote. If we learn from losing, we become winners in the end. And I am very, very proud of each and every one of these young ladies. As you can see, this year's team was a relatively young team with only 3 seniors. It will be very difficult to replace these seniors and their leadership out on the floor. But I am very confident that those who will return next year will keep improving and will provide our school another exciting season. I wish all of you the best of luck in the future. I will continue to watch and support the future War Volleyball program. You're real winners, and God bless you all.
We want everybody just to give Kaufman a round of applause for all her hard work and all the things she's done for us, and we'll miss her. Thanks.
Seth Barrett. Okay. Seth is another weight room guy. He spent a lot of time in the weight room. As a matter of fact, practice would be over, and I'd be, closing up the locker room, and he'd say, "Coach, can you leave the weight room open for me? I want to go in there and lift a little bit." And if hard work is any indication of what we're going to see later on, I think we're going to see I know we're going to see some really neat things from Seth out in the basketball court this year. So you'll be hearing more about Seth if you attend the Winter Sports Banquet. Pete Siegel. Pete is a product of the junior high program and was able to finish up 6 or 7 years of running with qualifying for the regionals as an individual. And one of the reasons, he was so justifiable in giving him the sportsmanship award, because we're getting towards the end of the season, and we were doing okay, but it was becoming more and more evident that we were going to have a struggle as a team in qualifying for the regionals. And I said to Pete, I said, "Hey, you should be getting psyched up. It looks like you're going to make it as an individual. You look really good as far as a running." And he said, "I'd rather go as a team." He said, I just don't want to go by myself." And that was, it was really neat to hear. It was really neat to hear from a senior. So Pete did a good job for us. Finally, Nick Kern. Okay, Nick's another one, finishing up a long career of running both junior high and high school. Stay right there, Nick. And Nick was voted most valuable player. I'm going to talk about this event a little bit with the girls too, but I need to mention it with the guys. We opened up against Belpre and Waterford, and we won, and we went to St. Mary's over in West Virginia. And at the St. Mary's event, we finished 11th out of 12. Our boys team did. Now, you would think the coach is going to be dragging up to the bus here, 11th out of 12. We had problems the year before with getting past in the last 50 or 100 yards and running our best times progressively as the season went on. We got done with that race. Nobody got past in the last 100 yards on the boys' team. And you say, well, maybe they were holding back. Well, they all ran their best times. So I felt like, I mentioned to a couple of people, I said, I feel like I'm a state champ here. We're 11th out of 12, but we all did as best we could, and nobody got us in the last 50 yards. So that was a carryover from something that we'd been preaching to the kids who ran in junior high, and as well as these kids that were our high school runners. So I just want to give these people a great round of applause. They did a great job. Have a seat there, guys. Relatively significant accomplishments this year. They opened up with a win at the Belpre Waterford race. They went over to St. Mary's, and they placed, I think, 4th out of 9 teams. They did a pretty good job, and they were also another indication that I knew we were going to have a pretty good season, because once again, no one got past coming down the stretch. At St. Mary's, you run down 100, 150 yards, and everybody went out. Everybody except one went out and ran their best time, and the girl that didn't just missed it by a whisker. So the kids we all meet after the race, and I'm
stuttering and stammering, and I didn't know what to say. And I was just very excited. I was pleased that we'd all run really well, and both on the guys and both on the girls, and it was just a great way to start the season. So I just need to reiterate that with the girls team. They went over to the Galley Invitational. They finished second over there out of 9 teams. We were first at the Waterford Triangular. We were first in the league, which, as Coach Faust said, that's the first time that the girls have ever done that. And like you said, he's been here for 11 years, so you would probably know. And second at the district, second year in a row that the girls have done this, and as a team. So they moved on to the regional. So as a team, they did some pretty neat things. We're going to start out with our freshmen, just as we did with the guys. Jessica Lane, she come up. Talk about that too. Summer, in addition to getting a letter, she was also given all league honors by placing 4th in the league. She ran our course. Next is Courtney Kaufman. Courtney ran our 7th and sort of 7th, 8th slot on the team. This is the second year for Courtney running. She had some great improvements. Every time we look down at the goal sheet, we see what Courtney's goal was, and she wasn't beating it by 5 or 10 seconds. She was beating it by 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds every time out. So she really worked hard, and it showed on race day. Jamie Schaefer.